YouTube, what's up? Back again for another daily fishing video here on Andrew Upshaw Fishing. Had a garage sale yesterday and it went really good. I met a few subscribers that watched my videos, so that was really awesome. And, I wish I could have shared that garage sale with all of you, but, I know that not all of you live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so that's just part of it. But hey, I do appreciate all the guys that did show up. Today's video, though, I think it's a pretty good one. It's actually going to be about how to practice and how to fish a 2-day event or a back-to-back tournament. So like a lot of times, I know you diehard fishing tournament guys, y'all like to fish a team tournament, maybe a club tournament, and they're all on the same weekend, and you got like basically 2 tournaments on the same weekend, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. But sometimes, you thin your fish out, you catch too many, something like that. And today's topic is going to talk to you about how to practice and prepare for those type of back-to-back events and how you can be better the next time you're out there on the water. But hey, real fast though, if you haven't yet, sub to this channel. Make sure you hit that sub button. It's in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. It's a little square. I would greatly appreciate it. And comment below, how many tournaments do you fish in 1 year? We all have that number. I don't really know how many I fish. I know I fish a bunch though. But I'm not going to tell you yet. So y'all comment below, how many tournaments do you fish in a year? Or do you even fish tournaments at all? And some people don't, and that's okay too. But guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you here in just a second. All right, guys, let's jump right on into this. Multiple day event, maybe it's a BFL Super Tournament, maybe it's back-to-back team tournaments. Practice is very important. So, I want you to look back on my individual day video. It's a couple videos ago. It's how to practice for individual tournaments for one-day events. There's a very few crucial steps in that particular video that'll help you in the practice aspect. I'm going to touch on a couple of them. I'm not going to touch on a bunch because a lot of the practice is going to translate into this. There's just a couple of new things that you need to do. So make sure, listen to me here, make sure you go back and check out that video because there's some really, really good keys on what kind of cover to approach, talking about patterns and things like that. So let's say for the sake of the argument, you're not going to get very much practice. Maybe a day, maybe 2 days, something like that. One of the big things I talk about in that other video is finding one primary pattern and one backup pattern. Well, multiple day events, that typically isn't going to work because the thing is things are always going to change on tournament day, so you're going to have a backup. I actually like to have 2 predominant patterns when I have a back-to-back event. Because let's say, for instance, on a Saturday, it's supposed to be raining, and I can catch them on top water, and on Sunday, it's dead calm and sunny and hot, I'm probably going to catch them offshore. So having those couple different things and preparing for both things is extremely, extremely important. So one thing that I do, I want to go out there on that 1 day of practice. I'm going to try to translate that day of practice to one of my tournament days. Hopefully, you have some similar conditions on that 1 day of practice as you do on one of the tournament days. So like if it's cloudy in practice and you have 1 day of the cloudy in the tournament, that's great. But you got to split your practice up. You got to split it up based off of conditions you're going to have coming. So if I've got a cloudy day in practice, day 1 practice, or the only day of practice, for instance. If I've got a cloudy day, I'm going to go do my cloudy day stuff. I'm going to go throw moving baits. I'm going to go throw a top water. I'm going to go do a lot of that kind of stuff. Well, once I figure out, okay, this is how I can get bit on the cloudy day, then I'm going to just completely do a 180 and go, okay, how would I catch them if it's sunny? If I look at these same fish that I'm catching, maybe they're topwater fish, maybe they're around the grass, maybe they're around bushes, something like that. How am I going to catch those fish when it's sunny? And that's where you got to put your thinking cap on. You can't get so locked in on what you did in practice. You got to really start kind of adapting a little bit. So what I typically am going to do, and I'm going to say, for instance, bushes or grass, and I'm throwing the topwater in practice and I'm getting bites and a bunch of bites, and it's cloudy and it's great. Well, the first day of the tournament, it's sunny. And obviously, I don't want to suck on the first day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go flip. I'm going to go slow down in that grass. I'm going to go flip around those bushes and really, really slow down a little bit. and see if I can get some bites and just kind of get that confidence level up. Because, everything about tournament bass fishing is about confidence. I don't care what anybody says. If you have confidence and you can keep that confidence high that you're going to go out there and catch them, 9 times out of 10, you're going to catch them. You might not catch them great. You might catch them great. But the thing is, you're going to catch some fish. You're going to have a good time if you have that high confidence. If you let your confidence dwindle at all, you're going to suck. And trust me when I say I've been there. I've been on that suck bus where, it just, no matter what move, and then it gets in your head, you miss a fish, you lose a fish, whatever it may be, and it just screws you up and you're done. So try to avoid the suck bus. I promise you don't want to be there. And if you fish tournaments enough, you've been there before. So that's number one, is avoid that. Number two is really try to dissect those patterns. Get you a couple different patterns doing a couple different things. And I'm not saying 6 or 7 things, guys. Like, so many times I see guys go out there and they're patterned to death. For instance, like they want to find 20 freaking patterns, and it's physically impossible to fish that many patterns in a day, or in even 3 or 4 days. It's impossible because so many things change. Find you a cloudy day one, find you a sunny day one, and then you might try, if you have a little time, try to figure out a finesse approach to get some bites, and maybe that's your primary patterns, finesse. I've been there. Hey. And finesse wins you some tournaments. I can promise you that. It's helped me a lot. So do that. That's your practice, okay? So when I get into the tournament, let's say, for instance, I get back-to-back really good condition days. Let's say the first day I go out there and I catch 25 pounds. And I catch them by 9 o'clock. Literally the worst thing you can do, if you think you got a bag that's even inside the top 5 or a win or, whatever it may be, lay off your fish. Don't just keep catching them. If you've got your bottom, your smallest fish in your bag is a 4-pounder, and you're catching a bunch of 4-pounders, you're costing yourself dollars every single time you catch that additional 4-pounder. So stop that spot. Maybe at that point, you look at your map and say, okay, this is what this spot looks like. This is where I'm catching these fish. This is the type of bank I'm catching them off of. Then, what you can do is you can run around the lake and find exactly the same thing. 9 times out of 10, if you go out there and you really focus and you pay attention to every single aspect of what you're casting at. Maybe you're fishing a secondary point on just the inside edge of a creek. Guys, I promise you, if you get on your map and you focus enough and you look hard enough, you will find 2 or 3 or 4 places that look identical. Now, will you catch fish? Maybe not. But what if you find that next wad of fish that you can go fish the next day? Don't be afraid to practice during the tournament, especially if you've already caught some fish. Now, I'll just be the first to tell you guys, it doesn't bother me at all to go out there in a tournament and just go practicing. I mean, I literally will just put everything away that I was catching them on and just go fishing and just see what happens. And one of the very first things that I do when I do get out on the water, depending on the body of water, but I want to run the entire bank if I can. I want to see what the lake looks like. I want to put my eyes on a lot of different things. Because the thing is, think of it like this. If I run around the lake and I see all these great things, and let's just say, for instance, I figure out that these fish are on 45-degree banks, I'm going to get in my brain, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember seeing 3 45-degree banks 2 miles that way, or maybe I remember one 5 miles that way, and you'll start remembering all these places. But the only way you're going to do that is if you've seen the body of water and you've run around and looked a little bit. That's the number one tool that you can have in your boat, is to get on your big engine and just run around and look and just mark things that you think might be high percentage. So that is a big, big key. So now managing your fish in a tournament is such a crucial thing. You got to make sure you take care of those fish. You got to make sure that you have enough for both days. Because the worst thing you can do is go out there on the first day, burn all your fish, and on day 2 just say, oh gosh, what the heck am I going to do? Because if you do that and you're not paying attention and you're not really focused on what you're doing, you're probably not going to have a very good day, especially if you fish your fish out. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been in those situations where I've had spawning fish and I've had 5 or 6 or 7 found. I caught a handful of them, and that was all I had. And then I lucked up and caught a couple of nice ones, and maybe throwing a swim bait. Day 2, you know what I did? I put my trolling motor down and went looking for all brand new spawners, or B, I just went fishing and kind of scrapped everything, maybe picked up that swim bait, maybe picked up some other moving baits to just try to generate that bite. So guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope you learn how to manage those fish and to really pay attention to what you're fishing and not get so locked in on what you did the day before, but really kind of let the conditions play to you. Because if you pay attention enough, if you take a step back and don't, we get so reactionary to things. If we stop being so reactionary and we actually try to look and take a step back and pay attention to everything that's going on around us, probably going to figure out how to catch some bass. So guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you again for all the subscribers that came out to my garage sale. I'll probably have another one here soon. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.